Shabaab have also said it is true that there's been assault this morning by the KDF, but have denied any casualties.
Right, Mbijiri, if we look at the most recent past, Kenya itself has faced threats from Al-Shabaab. So now considering this latest assault by jet fighters, what consequences could it possibly have for Kenya?
The consequence that Kenya will certainly face is that we are going to win this war. That's a good consequence because for a long time we have said and reiterated the government's position has always been that Al-Shabaab has lost the battle in Somalia. These attacks in Nairobi are the last kicks of a dying horse.
Now, Mohammed Mbijiri has said that Al-Shabaab essentially is dying out in Somalia. Is that the case in Mogadishu, for instance? What is the security situation in the capital?
Our analyst there said this is the last kicks of a dying horse, referring to Al-Shabaab. That's very much what the authorities have kept saying here in Mogadishu until just about 4 weeks ago. Al-Shabaab were able to penetrate the court, not only the courthouse complex, but the presidential palace itself. Security analysts over here will tell you these are not the last kicks of a dying horse. They're telling you this has become a transnational force. And they're also saying that the attacks in Nairobi might have nothing much to do with KDF's presence in Somalia, because the feeling over here is that there are 5 other AMISOM troops contributing countries. Then the people here are asking, why then is Kenya paying the price? Why is not Djibouti, that shares a border with Somalia? Why is it not Ethiopia, that also shares border with Somalia, not paying the price here? Besides, people are also wondering here, why is Al-Shabaab not claiming any of these last few attacks in Nairobi? I mean, Al-Shabaab's their mode of operation is that they hit, and even if it's only one casualty, they come out and say, we have done that. And that is their way. I mean, it makes them larger than life. That has been their style all through. And people here are asking, maybe there could be some other issues, and not only Al-Shabaab. Now, coming back to the capital here in Mogadishu, the city has been calm over the last couple of...
Now, Mbijiri, despite your analysis indicating that Kenya has a grip on the security situation in the country, the UN has banned visitors to its headquarters, and also the US Embassy is wanting to reduce the number of staff it has there. So what does it say about their concerns about security, and is it the right way to go?
Well, the United Nations, the United States of America, or any other nation has the right and, first of all, the responsibility to guard its staff, property, and everything that they operate with to make their work easy in any location on earth. However, that said, these 2 organizations, the US and the UN, as your question has implied, should not forget that they're inside a country called Kenya. And even if they asked all their staff to move from the quarters where they live and go and live inside the United Nations offices in Nairobi, or go and live within the United States offices in Nairobi, still they will be in a country where terrorists and terrorism is is on rampage all over in the streets. And so I would ask these 2 organizations, big, and we know this, the US and the UN are big, you know, it's a big country, it's a big organization. They need to join forces with Kenyan security forces and do more than just hibernate, because if they tell their staff, you don't come to office and there's no entry now in our property, what they are doing is hibernating, is hiding from the problem. And sooner, if all the terrorists were to come and kill everybody in Nairobi, then they will certainly end up going into their offices, they will end up into their embassies, and they will kill them as well. So we ask them to take a more proactive approach and help us as a nation contain this problem.
Now, Mbijiri, you call it a hibernation, and towards the end of last week, we saw European tourists, specifically from Britain, being taken back to their country after holiday in Mombasa. Do you consider a lack of information sharing from the West? Is that a problem from countries like the UK?
You see, the strength of any intelligence anywhere in the world is predicated on information. The power of the information that you have determines the effectiveness of your intelligence. Now, if there is any information that these nations have that they ought to share with this country and they are not, then what they are doing is they're weakening our intelligence. They are helping, they're helping the terrorists win their side of the game. And I would urge this nation to rethink their strategy. If there's something they have hidden from us, and we know now, we saw from WikiLeaks, We saw from Snowden scandals that have been out there in those nations, how thorough they are in their surveillance. They listen to people's cell phones. They follow people wherever and whoever. They have even tapped some of the greatest leaders on earth. Now, if they have some information that we don't have from whatever source, they should be bold enough to tell our government, hey, Kenyan government, Ugandan government, whichever other government, we have this information, you need it, please use it.
All right, Mohammed, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for those updates from Somalia. We're speaking there to Mohammed Mohoge in Mogadishu, as well as Mbijue Mwende, a security analyst here in Nairobi. All right, it's time now for a break.